I'm Doug Doyle with The Art of the Story. Andy Milne had a unique inspiration for the music on his 12th album as a leader, Time Will Tell. Born and raised in Hamilton, Ontario, the pianist and composer has always known that he was adopted and that he was a child of a Jamaican mother and a Pakistani father, but he never knew their identity. But thanks to ancestry.com, Milne discovered first a cousin in 2019, and then another cousin, and then in 2022, his birth mother, whom he finally met. WBGO's Lee Mergner recently spoke with Andy Milne about this underlying theme of family connections, lost and found, that flows through the compositions and arrangements of his new work.
I was struck by the fact that this has been nearly a lifelong search. For a lot of people, it's something that comes up later, but you've always known you were adopted and not known who your birth mother. What was that like to have that sort of, I don't know if it's hanging over you or whatever, have that sort of lack of knowledge?
Yeah, well, when I was younger, it was sort of a hanging over kind of thing. And in my 20s, I started to search to find answers. And I came up with very little, really. I mean, there was sort of a bit of information that was eventually disclosed to me, but it was a kind of a long, in Canada, where I grew up, there was sort of a long process that there were very limited resources. And so I was in this queue that was probably 10 or 15 years to sort of begin a search in a formal sense through the Children's Aid Society. And I just kind of eventually just said, I can't let this have a hold on me as a person. And so as I kind of went through the phases of life and, getting married and getting divorced and then getting married and then getting divorced, blah, 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 I kind of like, you just sort of find peace with where you were at, and I grew up in a very loving family, so to me it wasn't really the kind of lacking, if you will, that I was going to allow to sort of define me. So I kind of moved forward, and so I there was lots of times when it sort of you can have unanswered questions just related to your identity, but I was pretty much okay with where I was at, and so it just took a long time before I guess technology caught up with
right.
My still like nascent sort of questions marks that were floating around that I kind of just had lay dormant for a long time.
You can hear Lee Mergner's entire conversation with Andy Milne at wbgo.org/music. I'm Doug Doyle, WBGO News.